Mewlid, a day celebrated in the remembrance of the birth of Prophet Muhammad, is being celebrated in Tigray in the shadows of the resumption of war after the 5-month-long humanitarian truce. Members of the Muslim community say that they couldn't properly celebrate the festivity due to the ongoing siege that has been imposed for over a year now in Tigray.
Our living condition has negatively affected our attitude in general. Our children are unable to go through with their education. Many of our people have been killed and displaced. Our land has also been impounded by our enemies. The ultimate goal to this campaign is to annihilate us all. This has never been done anywhere else in the world. I am almost 80, however, I've never heard a country sealed off from the rest of the world as in Tigray. In fact, there were wars in Israel, Nigeria and Iraq, but the situation in Tigray is quite odd and horrific. We used to celebrate holidays colorfully. We also had the economic capability to prepare the appropriate types of food then. However, now we live under threats of aerial bombardments every day.
Tigray Muslim Affairs President Sheikh Mohammed Adam says Muslims in Tigray couldn't be able to celebrate the holiday properly due to the siege imposed on Tigray on one hand and the bloody war on the other. He also added that he and his fellow Muslims couldn't be able to celebrate the holiday in open spaces due to the aerial attacks being carried out across the region.
As Tigrayan Muslims, we are celebrating the holiday in a fatal plight following the ongoing siege in Tigray. We are sealed off from the rest of the world. Mewlid is a day of happiness. We used to gather and celebrate as one Muslim community before. However, now we couldn't be able to do this as we live under threats of aerial bombardments. There are continuous drone attacks on a daily basis. We are also not able to celebrate it properly because we have no supplies at home.
He also added that Muslims are celebrating the holiday in grief as dozens of civilians are being killed and starved to death following the resumption of the brutal war declared by the Ethiopian government and its allies.
There is no place for happiness at a time where your brothers and sisters are dying, starving, and mosques being intentionally demolished in a broad daylight. The Al-Najashi Mosque in Tigray is one of the largest mosques in the world next to Mecca, but it has now been demolished. Other religious institutions were also being destroyed. We also have lost several religious leaders and followers. Thus, we're celebrating this holiday at the time that our heritages are being vanquished, looted and taken into different places by these forces.
Sheikh Mohammed also commented on the international community on refraining itself from the repeated expressions of concern and take a decisive action in those responsible.
Tigray is the cradle of religions. Particularly, we the sons of Al-Najashi in Tigray are in desperate situation at this time. Therefore, we would like to call on the international community to assert the necessary pressure on the Ethiopian government and its allies to end the war on Tigray. On the top of this, we would also like to call on the Arab countries to uphold their responsibility and help us. If not, to stop supporting the genocidal regimes both in Ethiopia and Eritrea.
Followers of different religions in Tigray couldn't be able to celebrate holidays for the past couple of years due to the bloody war as well as the siege that followed it, which has made millions in Tigray remain under fear and suffering.